Last year, our team was celebrating Malaysia Day. That was the first time we were celebrating Malaysia Day. This year, our team is imagining Malaysia. Okay, and the idea of it was to get different people, different groups to come together and imagine, the kind of Malaysia that they want to live in. Imagine what Malaysia can be, what Malaysia should be. So we have invited a lot of different NGOs, and we have something like up to 25 NGOs now being involved in this event. So basically on the day itself, which is 16th of September, from about 3 o'clock onwards, we will have about 70-80 stalls selling all kinds of things, Malaysian food, handicraft items. We even have a tattoo artist from Sarawak. We have a section what we call the green zone, where we have 8 different groups doing selling things related to the environment and promoting sustainable living. On top of just the food, we also have a lot of performances. From the list that is in your press kit, you can see some of the exciting things we have, like we have a nose flute performance, okay, from an Orang Asli, who is performing using his nose. We have artists like Asmil Yunor, Amira Ali, 6 to 8, singing Malaysian songs, right? And we have traditional performances, things like, for example, we have the Chinese lion dance together with wushu performance, and one of the highlights, of course, is all the way from Kelantan. We have close to 7,500 people coming to do Dikir Barat. We have to end the whole party this fantastic Jom Joget, dancing in the street, under the moonlight and the stars, and we have invited a group all the way from Penang called the Roselles, who is very famous in Penang, and they'll be playing all the old songs, from the P. Ramlee songs and the Jimmy Ball songs like Putra Putri, the Teresa Teng songs, and so on and so forth. So it's a great time for everyone to have a lot of fun. Besides the fact that we have all these food stalls and handicraft stalls and so on, and performances to have fun, we also have, like I mentioned earlier, about 25 different NGOs, and all these NGOs will be setting up stalls on the street also, where they will be educating people about their various causes. For example, we have the Women Aid Organization, we have Voice of Children, we have the Society of Children's Books and Illustrators, we have SPCA, we have the My Constitution Project, and a wide range of NGOs covering all different fields will be there. Okay, so they will have their stalls to teach people about what they're doing. And also we have 9 different talks and forums, okay, which will be held in our restaurants, right? So we have various talks, like for example, the Pusat Rakyat is having a fundraiser in the evening in Leonardo's, where they have a project called Undi Malaysia. And then in the afternoon we have projects like, for example, the debate on the environment, okay, and then we have a talk by artists Anurendra Jagadeva and Yi Lan. We have a fundraiser for Pusaka, where they will have Eddin, Khoo and Farish Noor having a discussion on culture. We have the Sisters in Islam group, who will be having a discussion on Pride Without Prejudice. And we have also groups like CPPS, which is a think tank, which will be organizing a talk on the voice of the moderates. We have a group called Sexuality Merdeka, who will be exposing the Malaysian sexuality. So we have all these different talks and forums. The idea is to teach people a little bit more about the different issues that affect us, and what the kind of Malaysia that they imagine us to be.
Undi Malaysia is a voter education movement. On September 16th, we are making our first official appearance. It is a fundraiser event, and with these funds, it will be used, of course, for the movement, where we do things like infographics, workshops, game shops, videos to bring it closer to our objective. Undi Malaysia focuses on 3 things, 3 issues: social and social economic rights, where we look into food and housing. civil and political rights, where we look into freedom of expression, and the third one is budget. Reading the budget, and also what in the budget we're focusing is education budget. How is it spent? What is done with it? The whole idea of Undi Malaysia is to bring forward issues, to make people vote wiser, to know their rights, to have a greater participation in democracy. And it's not about getting people to vote for different people, for different parties. We're not trying to swing any votes here. What we're doing is getting people to understand what is your role when it comes to voting, and when it's off voting season, what do you do? So if an MP is not doing his job in your opinion, write to him, something to that effect. Call him. Regarding the event on September 16th, the mock is what we're going to do is something like a mock election. It started off some weeks back, where we had 20 candidates online. Everybody had to vote using a simple Facebook like, and then from there 10 people were eliminated. Another 10 will be coming on September 16th. They, instead of just limiting it to debate, they can do any form, speech, performance, spoken words, whatever they can do to bring forward the issue. So the personalities are here to highlight the specific issues they represent. They represent issues such as food and housing, freedom of expression, food and housing, and the other one is, like I said earlier, budget. Other issues such as transport, other issues such as human rights law, they also discuss that. So it depends on each of these candidates what issues they bring forward.
The Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators, or you can just say SCBWI, or Persatuan Penulis dan Ilustrator Buku Kanak-Kanak Malaysia. We support children's book writers and illustrators in Malaysia. We are actually affiliated with an international organization based in Los Angeles. There are 22,000 members worldwide, and we have chapters in over 70 regions worldwide. Since we have started, we have around 30 Malaysian members, and lots more considering but haven't joined as members yet. On Facebook we have more than 700 friends, and lots more on our mailing list. So for this event on 16 September, we are having a competition. We call it Telling Our Stories, or Cerita Malaysia, Cerita Kita. This contest hopes to inspire them to give us stories about Malaysia. And you don't have to write a full story, it's too short a time, because we are going to announce 5 winners on 16 September itself. You just need to give a story idea. Okay. We are announcing that on Facebook through our mailing list, and hopefully through you all. And it's open to all Malaysians and non-Malaysians currently resident in Malaysia. Okay. They have to pick something that is wonderful about Malaysia, and they think that this maybe animal or plant or this person or some historical fact should be told to our children. The winners will get is, we will take them through a course whereby they will be instructed on how to draw and write children's books. Yusuf Gajah will be instructing them, and we will also take them through the whole publishing process, because we get lots of queries. How do I start? How, we take through the whole publishing process. What do editors do? What do art editors do? What's the difference? How do you do the layout? And we'll take them to a printing plant. We'll teach them about copyright and how to understand a publishing contract.
This year we are doing 2 things, and Ed basically has helped us. The organization is self-funding, Pusaka, and we maintain a small staff in Kuala Lumpur, but a very huge community in the rural areas. So we train basically young people. We get young people involved, we train them, and have been doing so for over a decade now in these traditions, so that the knowledge is passed down. But we host a community of about 55 to 60 people in Kelantan alone, and then there's work that we are beginning to do in Perak and Perlis and Kedah and places like that. And so basically we really need resources. So we're doing a fundraiser that is limited, quite a small fundraiser, limited to about 45 people, I think. And as part of, to give a bit more meaning to that fundraiser, I will be conducting a conversation on culture, because culture, I think, is one of the most ubiquitous words in our country. Everybody talks about our culture, yet nobody knows how to think about it or what it might even mean. and how complex and complicated and protracted that could be. A dear friend of mine, Farishno, I think many of you all will know him as a writer and historian, and I will be conducting a conversation to this at this fundraiser. Immediately after that, we will actually venture down to the field, where this year we are bringing a DK Barat troop from Machang, from Selising in Kelantan, which is going to be led by somebody called Daud, D-A-U-D, Daud Bukit Abal. Bukit Abal is where he comes from, in Selising. And Daud Bukit Abal basically is known in Kelantan as the godfather of the DK Barat. He's essentially a living legend. And throughout the 1950s and 1960s, 70s, 80s, right up till today, he is regarded as quite an iconic figure. So he will be performing here, one of the very rare times that actually he performs in Kuala Lumpur. We are organizing something like a 75 to 100 person, what we call DK Tewas, which is two groups dueling with each other. And each group will consist about 35 to 40 people, and then you have the main singers, and they will move from one to the other. But they don't do it in rows as we do it, they do it in circles. So you get a whole idea of the energy and the passion and the really the quite wildness of Kelantan performance traditions right here in Kuala Lumpur. And we will culminate that with Pak Daud himself, who's going to sing a very famous song called the Wau Bulan. I think you all may know Wau Bulan, and hopefully the audience can join him at least in the chorus. But again, it's for us, it's really to try and demonstrate what the essence of our culture really is to people who've been conditioned to think otherwise.
Sister in Islam is a women's right NGO, Muslim women's right NGO. What we do is we carry out advocacy programs for legal reforms, for example, and educating women about their legal rights, especially in the Sharia system. For example, a lot of women at the grassroots level are unaware of their rights whenever they go to court. So we like last year we launched our MFL campaign, which is the Muslim Family Law campaign. So we have our advocacy officers going to different parts of Malaysia to have whole workshops with the grassroots women. So that's one of the things we do at Sisters in Islam. Apart from that, we also have our national research on a very sensitive issue, obviously, polygamy. So it's still ongoing, and that's one of the activities that we do. For the Malaysia Day event, we're very thankful for Edward for providing us a space to have a fundraising event to help us fundraise for our programs and activities. So for on the 16th night, what we're going to have is basically a talk show, an interactive talk show involving young people, involving young voices of Malaysia, because we think it's very fitting, because the theme is imagining Malaysia. So obviously we want young people and to hear their thoughts on the issue of, say, prejudice and perhaps stereotypical thinking. It's a very sort of interesting, sensitive topic, but I thought it'd be from Sisters of Islam. We think it's it's important to give young people the platform and the space to discuss issues that concern them and issues that would make for a better Malaysia. So what we hope for the event is that to involve and empower young people to come and articulate their thoughts on the issue of prejudice.